Basically, none of our pants fit, and we're trying to figure it out.
Audio Jungle.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Experts About Nothing.
Hey!
We have a very relevant episode today to something that we're experiencing. And in the spirit of Black Friday, me and Priya have done a little bit of damage.
We have.
I think I did the most damage out of the two of us. A lot of them were gifts, but I did do some significant personal damage as well. And a lot of it is because our sizes are changing. And we felt like it's something that women have to experience often. And we wanted to chat through our experience with that and some practical tips that we've been implementing to help us just feel more comfortable in our clothes and also, better understand how our bodies change and like what we can do to be more confident and comfortable with however those changes present themselves.
Yes. All of the above. Basically, none of our pants fit, and we're trying to figure it out. It'll be a fun, interesting convo, hopefully. Definitely one that's come up quite a bit this year. Before we get into it, as always, we got to do a little plug for the pod. So, guys, we're almost rounding out the year, which is really insane. This is giving 2-year anniversary.
Oh my God.
That's actually crazy to think about. So now is better time than ever to follow us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Subscribe so you can get the latest deets when we drop a new episode. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, just be part of the community. Okay, amazing. Without any further delay, let's get into it.
Adieu.
What is adieu? I was like, what is adieu?
AKA the first word on my Wordle every fucking day.
Oh my gosh. All right. I think she did a great intro of what we wanted to talk about today. But yeah, I think this year has just been the year of bodies morphing. For some reason. I think bodies have always morphed, but for some reason, I've been clocking it a lot more this year. Personally, this year has been actually one of the years that I feel like I've stuck to my physical goals pretty consistently.
Oh my God, same. I was just going to say that. I feel like I've never been this consistent with my routine. Mind you, that is really ironic I'm saying that because the last 3 weeks I have not hit the gym once. It was all fun and games up until November. And then November hit and I was like,
the holidays, it derails you,
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's going on. Somehow we made it through the summer pretty strong.
Yeah. I feel like still generally, even though I haven't been going to the gym, I still feel like I'm being physically active during this time.
Yeah.
So I feel not horrible.
Like, I don't know. I think we always associate being physically active with losing weight, going down in clothing sizes, like everything's supposed to be smaller. Whereas in both of our cases, everything has been going bigger. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, our bodies are changing a little bit. The pant sizes are going up. And a lot of the pants weren't fitting. A lot of the shorts weren't fitting. I think both of us kind of approached it with a little bit of humor at first. We were like,
no,
LMAO.
It's kind of hilarious
What?
Because it's so funny. The first time I noticed this was in the beginning of the summer because I had to swap all my winter and summer spring clothes. I was getting ready to go to Mexico in like 2 days at a wedding there. And I also was going to Mexico City before. So I was like, oh, let me try on my shorts. Let me get in my summer mood. I'm like trying my shorts on and I'm like, something is not working. All of a sudden, everything was not just tight. It was like giving muffin top. I was like, I feel like these are children's clothes. And I also was like simultaneously having a panic because I'm like, I don't have any summer clothes for my trip. So I was like, I need to go to H&M, got some new stuff. Loved my new picks, but I was like, whoa, it's so crazy because I personally haven't like seen a difference in the mirror because you look at yourself every day. You're not really clocking those minor changes that are happening week over week. And then suddenly when you try on last year's clothes, you're like, I'm a new person. In some ways, it's actually really gratifying because you're like, okay, my workouts are doing something. My body is changing and I need to like appreciate the changes as a part of the journey of working out and like becoming healthier, you know?
Yeah.
And I also feel like different body types show health in different ways. One of the biggest things, I think we were just talking about this, was the marathon. You look at it and like a wide variety of people are running the marathon. They don't all look the same. Mm-hmm. And not everyone that's that's up ahead in the crowd is a stick thin, zero body fat percentage. Different people have different amount of strength, and I think it shows being a healthy person can look so different. In the past, especially in our culture, like you attribute being healthy to being thin. I was lucky to be part of a family where like being too thin is also, it's not seen as like the goal. Now the conversation more shifts into living a healthy lifestyle and appreciating and serving your body in the way it needs. But all that is to say, it is a huge mental health hurdle to get over the fact that you are increasing not one, not two, but like 3 sizes sometimes. It literally makes you feel like you have body dysmorphia.
Yeah, I think the changes of seasons are like a big prompter for this, because you like retry all your clothes that you haven't tried on in a year, and then you're like, whoa, nothing fits. Like either things feel too big or feel too small. But like I had that exact same experience this fall/winter when I was like trying on all of my jeans, and I was like, you know, the math is not mathing because these sizes are not working for me. And I was so confused. And I remember this happened to me actually during the pandemic the opposite way, where I was like, whoa, all my pants are so big. And I like bought a bunch of pants that were like smaller sizes.
Yeah.
It's crazy the difference in the mental experience I had then versus now. And the wild part about that is during the pandemic, I did not have a consistent fitness routine.
Yeah.
I was going down in pant sizes, but it was likely not due to like healthy reasons. It was probably due to like stress. And I felt kind of like good. I was like, oh, well, I'm looking snatched, you know? I was not feeling snatched. Key is looking snatched, or what I thought. But then this time around, I have been doing consistent physical fitness and feel like I'm feeling healthier generally, but like my sizes are going up. My initial reaction was to feel bad. Like it makes you, one, feel like your appearance looks bad, or like you start questioning your appearance, and two, it made me think, oh, am I being unhealthy? Which is crazy because I was being healthier than I have been in the past.
Also, it's like the habit analysis. I think as I was increasing sizes, I noticed I was like, the one thing that's been consistent is actually my physical routine.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what was supposed to happen back then too, but I was just never consistent enough to actually see these results, you know?
Yeah.
I think just looking at it from, okay, like what am I actually doing every day? And like which habits are actually bad? If you don't see bad habits and if you feel really good, then there is nothing you need to change. That is just the way your body is changing. But generally, like if you're not mad at the results, then there's honestly nothing to change except your clothes.
That conclusion coming down to that was honestly a really big part of probably both of our growth as like adults this year, because I was like, oh, this isn't bad. I'm being consistent. I'm doing what I need to do. And this is just the way my body should be looking right now. And it's fine. I think dissociating how you look and how you feel, not convoluting those two concepts, is really important in evaluating that, because I'm like, I feel good. And that's the biggest assessment that you need to make. I feel like that's the first step of the hurdle. And then the rest of it can be figured out if you can figure out getting over the mental aspect of it. I think that's like the hardest part.
Of course. Once you reach that acceptance phase, then you can be in a more loving position to yourself to be able to make changes to either your habits or your clothes. The point we're getting at here is that this is very individualized. There's definitely scenarios where you might want to see a medical professional and like get things checked out. And we highly encourage, especially females, like we're always told that like things are not as bad as they seem, or everything's fine even when we feel not fine. So like definitely encouraging talking to your medical professionals about this stuff. This is just our personal experiences going through some fluctuations.
And on top of that, I think your physical health is one aspect of it, but again, Diksha just mentioned, these are our personal journeys, which I don't think either of us have experienced extreme body image issues in either direction. And so this is truly just our personal experience. So if you need physical medical attention, mental medical attention, like I think all of those are really valid. And as we have been learning through this journey, we realize both of those components are really crucial to like feel your best. So
I guess we can kind of dive in to some of the things that we've been doing to help us with our changing bodies, and maybe it'll inspire you guys to also think about some of these things in ways that you can maybe incorporate these tips into your life. But yeah, I think one of the best things, number one on my list, is to get more elastic things. Some of my favorite pants are just elastic, loose pants. And they make me feel amazing. And I feel like regardless if I fluctuate 2 sizes up, 2 sizes down, I know they're probably going to fit fine. That's why I love athleisure, because a lot of those have just more give on the waist, which I think makes me feel really good and allows me to be less wasteful also in getting sizes that are too small or too big or whatever, because most likely it'll still adjust to whatever size I am. Even now, I've noticed that so many slacks have like seamless front bands, but then the back has elastic in it, which gives you more give too. So then you'll be able to keep them around for longer. And I found that to be a lot less wasteful and a lot less stressful.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing tip. I think along the same vein, in general, I feel like I never regret buying a good dress or a good looser skirt vibe. Those are the pieces for me that have last forever. Like, I still wear dresses that I've got in like high school. Like, if I like the cut and the pattern, then they still fit because they're just more flexible items of clothing. I kind of feel my best in a dress a lot. It's one article of clothing. You don't really have to think that much. And it's pretty slay. So finding those pieces that you could wear in multiple seasons and multiple body shapes will just eliminate both the like mental and financial toll it takes on refurbishing your pieces when your body changes. Another tip that I've discovered this year, it's an annoying tip. I wish I didn't have to do this, but I do. But like, I've noticed that my body changes throughout the month, and usually most people who get periods face a similar consequence. Half the month you're bloated, half the month you're not. Day to day, it's confusing. I would get a pair of jeans in the past and I'd be like, oh my God, this fits great when I'm buying it. And then 2 weeks later, I'd be like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. Like, I can't wear this. And it would just make me feel bad. But if I really liked a pair of jeans, I just am going to buy them in 2 sizes. And I did that recently, and it kind of has changed my life. And I wear one size half the month and the other size the other half of the month. And it kind of just works. And I don't have to think too hard. I don't know. I have always run into the issue where I'll curate an outfit in my mind, and then I try it on, and I'm like, the pants don't fit. And it's a very disappointing feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to eliminate that feeling. But of course, that's like a financial investment. It's annoying. And I can't afford to do that for every single one of my pants. I'm going to probably only do it for the ones that I really like, that I wear the most frequently. But yeah, I've enjoyed that investment.
And I love that. You don't have to do that with every single pair of pants you have. But like your staple 2 or 3 colors or cuts, if you have that, then you'll have peace of mind that you'll always have the best fitting pant for you. And shop the sales for sure when that happens.
Yeah, that was a sale purchase for sure.
Another tip that I have also in like the same vein of purchasing clothes is generally just don't buy anything that doesn't fit you properly when you're trying it on. There have been times where I've been tempted because a pant's on sale, it's the last one they have, and it's a little bit too tight, it's a little bit too loose. And I still buy it. And I keep it even after I've like tried it on at home, and it still kind of gives me like a weird feeling. I'm still not 100% on it. I do that because either the brand is dope, it's like from Aritzia or Reformation, and like I want to keep it because it's like such a good deal and it was from such a great brand. But it's like, if it doesn't fit you, you're going to stare at it depressed the rest of the time you own it. And I think I learned that the hard way, because after one too many purchases, it's like basically throwing your money in the trash. You're not investing in the right things. So highly encourage being more selective and more strict with yourself when you're looking at clothes to purchase, because you want to make sure it's a long-term purchase for you. And even if it's not lasting you 10 years, it should fit you the way you want it the moment you walk out the store. So
I'm definitely a culprit of not doing this. And another thing Deeksha really puts down the hammer on is, even if you get something, we're fiends for ordering things online. Don't let the friction or the burden of having to return something prevent you from returning if it doesn't fit. Like, don't force it, basically. What I'm going through right now is like, we live in small apartments. We don't have real closets. Having that much stuff is kind of anxiety inducing.
Oh, definitely.
And especially when the stuff doesn't fit you, it's like painful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was like,
he just came and then checked where we were. Anyway, completely agree. I feel like when you have way too much stuff, you don't even know what you have, you know? That means you're not giving enough attention to any of your pieces, because you are probably only paying attention to the 2 in front of you and not all the clutter you have under your bed and like all the clothes that you don't use as frequently as you really should. So you need to return your shit. Get rid of it. If you guys are moving out anytime soon, moving into a new place, like doing anything, please be selective. That is your opportunity to look at everything you have before putting it into another box and moving it with you somewhere else. I was talking to Priya about this, but like donating or saving your stuff for your kids is so hype. There is some person that could look amazing in this item that you're basically never looking at. Like, I think about how many items of clothing that I have that I would be so happy if I would be able to give it a new life by giving it to someone else. I really think that the days of hoarding must come to an end. And my rule of thumb is always, if it's 2 sizes less than what you are now, it's out. When you are gaining weight healthily, chances that you're going to go back to the original size you were pretty
slim.
low.
Yeah, because usually, like, especially to the point we were making in the beginning, if you're staying consistent, you're doing the healthy things, like, this is probably your body adapting to how you should be. You know what I mean?
Like your new lifestyle.
Your new lifestyle and kind of to whatever your optimal shape and size should be at that time.
Exactly.
So, like, at that point, trying to fit into some older size that's too small on you is not good for you.
To actually be more free-flowing with your wardrobe is such a good thing. But yeah, and also like the idea of giving clothes to your friends that you know are especially nice and you bought them and you love them. I think it's a really sweet thing, actually, to be like, hey, like, I have these pants. They don't fit me anymore. I barely worn them. Would love if you could try them on if you want to. And let me know if you want to keep them. I think it's so great. And Ashi actually just did that with us. She, like, cleaned her entire closet and, like, had specific pieces that she was like, if you guys like these, please keep them. And they're nice stuff. So I think it was a really nice gesture. And even if it doesn't fit, not a big deal. But it's nice that someone thought of you.
Yeah, I think it was really nice, and Ashi has given me some great pieces, so, like, literally at one point in time, earlier this year, the piece of jeans that Ashi literally gifted me were the only piece of jeans that fit me for, like,
they looked
4
phenomenal.
months.
I kept complimenting Priya.
Only wore these pants.
But yeah, long tangent to just say, share your clothes.
And it could be a fun time. It's kind of like a clothing swap. And then moving into getting out of the mental funk of coping with your body changing. Like, you don't know why. Like, I think that's the big thing, is narrowing down maybe like why these changes are happening to your body and assessing your habits and like your discipline and just how you feel and how healthy you feel. And literally, Deeksha and I are currently in a phase right now where both of us are not at our peak discipline with our physical fitness, with even our eating habits, because we've been traveling a lot. It's the holidays. It's like literally a notorious time for everyone to fall off the wagon, and we are off that wagon. And the other day I was like, oh, I just don't feel good. I'm like, nothing is like looking right, like whatever, you know, having one of those bad body image days. And then I just evaluated like, oh, I'm traveling, not eating my best, I'm not being that physically active. Checks out why I wouldn't be feeling 100%. I'm not in my healthiest headspace and physical space at the moment. And like a big factor for women is your bodies are changing throughout the month. I think we just get gaslit in society to pretend like that's not a factor that's happening to you literally every single day when it is. It's important to like acknowledge that. I think that this year has been one of the first years that I've acknowledged that those changes are happening to my body, and at the very least just give myself some space to be like, I'm not going to be feeling 100% every day of the month, because that's not how my body works.
Also not realistic. More than likely, as amazing as it is to follow a routine and like feel your peak, you're going to be tired, you're going to be stressed.
Yeah.
That's just life. You're going to have unexpected obstacles and like unexpected celebrations. Also, we talked about this in like numerous episodes before, but physical activity doesn't mean you have to like sweat buckets at the gym. It could just mean a longer walk, stepping out of the house, getting groceries. We always promote living an active lifestyle, not necessarily having to go to the gym and haul ass all the time.
Yeah, like no one is 100% every day of the week. Discipline is more about just getting back to your baseline than being 100%. It's about consistency, but it's not about perfection. I don't know, just looking at things as the facts versus the emotions really helps me out, because I'm like, yeah, this makes sense why you're not feeling your best. And like, that's fine. I don't have to convince myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like even now, although I want to get back into my routine quickly, I'm not feeling stressed about it. I'm not emotionally like, I need to get to the gym to like feel hot. You know what I mean? Like that's not where my mind's at. I'm like, yeah, I should start moving back in this direction because that's when I feel my best. And along that vein, like I read this somewhere on Instagram, saw it in a reel or something, and I'm a huge culprit of this. Like I'll always look on Insta or like whatever, some Pinterest, some social media and be like, ooh, I love this person's style. I love this person's like aesthetic, whatever, like follow them. And I'm never really clocking, do they look like me? Are we similar proportions? Are we similar height? I think taking those things into account makes a major difference. A lot of the things that we get fed are usually like tall, skinny people, TBH. And then you try on a style that works for them and you're like, why do I look so unique right now? Like in a bad way. And it's just a little disheartening and you take it personally. Recently, I've followed a bunch of people who are 5'3", 5'2", like, you know, on the shorter end of the spectrum. And I'm like, wait, this is so much better for me because they look snatched and now I can actually configure a look like that or like buy pieces that they're recommending because I know that that would actually fit me and look good on my body type.
I think a lot of, you know, feeling good in your clothes is like truly making the effort and the time to play around with it and figure out what brands, what cuts, what styles actually flatter you. It's exhausting. For example, everyone's like, oh my God, Abercrombie jeans are so amazing. You can very well go into Abercrombie, try on a pair of jeans and be like, it is not working for me. Even if it does work for 75% of people, you might be part of that 25% where it just doesn't work. And that's okay. It goes back to my original point, like be a little bit more picky with like what you're looking at. Because you don't want to end up buying and spending money on something that's not going to serve you. I really love the thing you said about proportions because I think someone could be the same height as you and the same weight as you, but look completely different. Yeah. And I think that's something that a lot of people have to like hit the realization of when they try on something that like it fits perfect on someone else, but then for you it's like looking all sorts of weird. And that is something I'm kind of going through right now too, because for example, also all of these sizes in stores are all mumbo jumbo. Yeah. Depending on their manufacturers, depending on the brand, these sizes, I actually range 4 different sizes at this moment. I have size 23 pants from Uniqlo, still wearing, still loose, comfortable, love them to this day. Then I have size 26 pants in Abercrombie, but for that specific style, I am that size. Yeah. And then I have a pair of Curve Love pants that, you know, don't even get Priya started. But like, get me started. I have a pair of Curve Love pants that are leather, but I'm like, what? Like, why am I randomly Curve Love in this one pair of pants?
And that is the point I'm trying to make. If Diksha's Curve Love, like, this is incorrect.
Oh my God, this is a perfect time for me to make a point that I've been thinking about for a long time. But I'm like, curves are so different on everyone has curves. No one is actually a rectangle. And I'm like, different items will fit different people's curves differently. Just saying some people have curves, some don't is just not true. That's why the term bothers me so much, because I'm like, maybe those pants just fit the curves that I have, not necessarily generally people with curves. You know what I mean? Like, the term itself is kind of confusing and doesn't really make complete sense, in my opinion, but whatever.
Right. It's so confusing for probably everyone. Feels specifically for women extra confusing because you can be multiple different sizes within the same brand. I think one thing is just the irritation of it all to like find your size, but it also messes with your mind because we've been kind of conditioned to like correlate ourselves with these specific numbers and be like, oh, I'm a 20 what, like, and it's just like you think you're that, and if you're not that, or if you move up or move down, like something's up, and it's just bizarre because
it's also not true. Like none sizes of that's are actually true. Just numbers.
And you're not like a number. You're a range of things, and your body's going to continue shifting in those ranges throughout your life. So all in all, the messaging about all of this seems like a recipe for disaster for like people's mind. But if you could keep your perspective and be like, LOL. I just got to try on a lot of things until I find the right thing in each place. I think that
it requires a lot of patience.
So much patience. It's honestly super annoying.
And we empathize like deeply. But ultimate messaging here is just finding clothes that you think look good on you. It doesn't matter what other people think. It's about what you feel you look good in and what you feel most confident in. And those styles can vary differently from person to person.
Yeah, I think this comes with your changing body and also your changing style. And recently this has been coming up for me a lot when we're like going out, going to a party, like some type of like social event where you have to be dressed up. And I have been feeling ultra stressed. I feel fine in my day-to-day style. Like I know what I like, I know what I don't like. But for some reason, going out in the nighttime feels like you need to look this particular way. A lot of times I'm like, I do want to look that particular way. More so, I want to feel that way. Like I think that's what I'm chasing is a feeling confident, hot. Yeah, like I just want to feel hot. But what is labeled to me as feeling hot doesn't feel hot on me.
I mean, I think we can say typically the way things are marketed to us is like looking hot has to be revealing, more tight and more
like
fitting.
Tight.
Yeah, but like it really doesn't have to be like that, and you could look stunning, hot, sexy, like whatever. I hate that fucking word. Ew. I have to literally cringe at myself because I hate the word. I'm like squirming.
Oh my god, she's literally squirming.
Anyway, whatever that is that you want to feel, it can be attained through different cuts. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it can be your own
forms.
thing. And I think that's what we were talking about. We look at someone and we're like, they are slaying. I would not wear that because that's not my personal style. But they're exuding an aura where it's like, I look good and I feel good. You know what I mean?
The goal is the aura.
The goal is the aura. And everyone's aura is different.
That is the only thing that you need to strive for. You know, just like these Western beauty standards that are put upon us is really challenging for people that come from different communities that look different. We've had to experience that in so many different ways, whether it's colorism or like body dysmorphia or like just being body shamed. We just experience that in our culture especially, and like people don't mean it negatively, not all the time at least.
Yeah.
But we hear that stuff so often and it can get to you. And I think it is so important for us to be breaking those stigmas down and be preaching to the choir how things don't have to be a certain way.
Yep.
So
100%. And that really comes from you finding your own vibe.
And that takes years. It takes a long
time. And it also evolves season to season. Like something that makes you feel snatched right now is not going to make you feel snatched 5 years from now.
No.
You know?
Period.
On a final note, we have had conversations with basically every person in our lives about body image and body image issues, regardless of what they look like. I just feel like this is such a shared experience. And that to me is really comforting in a messed up way that just like everyone's thinking about this, unfortunately or fortunately. And anytime we've had conversations with, you know, anyone in our life that we love about body image, we're never thinking that. Like we're never thinking the thought that that person is having. And it's truly just your own self battle that you can get through, and it's just a matter of figuring out what approach works for you. But yeah, I think this is just such a shared experience, and like everyone feels it to some level in different seasons of their life. At least that comforts me and like takes some of the weight off of it when I go through it.
Period. No.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of all we wanted to chat through today. Thanks for listening, guys. Let us know your thoughts.
All right.
And that's a wrap.
See you on the flip.
Bye.
Bye.